And welcome to the SW Fantasy Football Podcast. It is the 2022 season, and as always, I'm your host, the real Get At Me, and my co-host, your commissioner, Joey Fantasy.
And your 2013 champion.
Seems like such a long time ago, Joe.
Well, 2021 too. Nick knows.
Yeah, asterisk. Well, welcome to the fireside chat we got here. I got a pumpkin, a nice little fireplace going on here. Joe, I've been trying to get you in here. I think people wanted to hear from the commissioner, hear from the voice of the league, the real Get At Me. The podcast's been away for a while now.
When was the last recording? Do you recall?
I don't recall.
Over a year, if not two.
No, we did a couple last year. You're just always so busy with like kids and your wife and the job. You're just can't ever get you to sit down for a half hour. Going to bed at 8:30, things like that. Here we are recording at 7:30 on Tuesday.
There's a lot of prep going into this year with all the recent changes. I just don't have the time to give all my expertise for everybody to soak it in like a sponge.
Before we get to the owners meeting wrap up, there's been talk that you're going to step down as commissioner.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talks, saying the commissioner is stressed out. He doesn't want to deal with
He's losing
12,
his hair
let alone
over
13 guys now. So yeah, I've been going bald.
You had a vote in that, and I remember how you voted.
Well, I remember. The commissioner ain't going anywhere, Dominic. I live for this. Okay, you guys know that.
All right, so why don't we get into owners meeting?
Think I'm going to let Dom Kabari run this league? Run it right into the ground.
First, let's give a thankful thanks to Mr. Scott and his wife for graciously hosting us for our meeting and listening to us bicker and vote and then revote and then vote again at their dinner table.
There was only one revote.
Felt like we did a lot of voting. But anyway, so what'd you take out of the meeting, Joe?
Well, I thought the meeting was productive, as others thought it wasn't as productive, but it's always great to get as many of us together as possible when we can, how we can as we get older in age. Everybody knows that it's not about football, it's about the friendship. So yeah, I thought we got a lot accomplished. I thought it was great to break that bread with everyone.
I saw that thing where Nick shared our punishment on the Reddit, and got like 500 likes, upvotes.
Yeah, something as simple as having together. A loser host at dinner and getting together is what it's all about. And I think
it's sweet, it's simple, it gets the point across, and we get a chance to tell your wife how terrible you are at fantasy football, which Kath was not surprised about at all.
Which Brittany's, she's got to know. What is it? What year are we in? Don't even know. 11? Is this year 11? You still don't have a ring? Nothing's changed. No. Nothing's changed.
Anyways, back on topic. This isn't about me. You always try to make it about me. So we got the buy-in, $200.
Buy-in again is going to be $200. Nothing's changed there yet. Anyways, buy-in's $200. Money's due before the auction draft, which will take place again on September 4th. That is a Sunday, the Labor Day weekend Sunday. We've always done that the last 10 years. The draft will begin at 1:05. Again, if there are issues with any owners that are listening to this podcast, you have very little time to get that notification into me. The Giarizzles are good. They'll be on their hunting trip. They will have Wi-Fi. And it will be at 1:05 Eastern time for those of you that are not in the Eastern time zone. Now, and there's no plans yet if anyone wants to host and do something. But I know guys like you, Dom, and Michael Kiefer don't like showing emotions, so you frown upon getting together on that day.
I have my command center. I want you to see all my monitors that actually watch your monitors, see what you guys are doing, see who's in your queue.
Like Poker Stars fraud?
Yeah. Now let's talk about the biggest part of the owners meeting, the expansion.
Arguably the biggest controversy in the league's existence.
I don't know. We got the rollback. We got the changing the draft date 5 times last year. What else do we have? Got a couple of them.
Do we? Because I don't really
You just
This
don't.
is a well-tuned
You just don't want
fantasy
because they're
football
all
league,
under
and
your
if those are the
watch.
two that you have in 10 years, I think we're smooth sailing here.
So expansion. So we voted. It got denied.
It was a
People had
6-6 vote. Everything was or anonymous with per the new rules and regulations. So we don't know which six voted which way, or six that voted the other way.
okay,
But the first vote was
and then
equal.
a day later, not
No, it
even a
was
day
not
later,
even. It was an hour later after the vote.
after everybody gone home. I mean, I was home when it started.
I was home.
I was walking my kid around the Asian Lantern Festival,
Yep. You were
and
stressed out.
all of a sudden, you guys wanted to revote because we had an anonymous caller who had some.
Why were you so nervous for expansion? I mean,
I'm
everyone,
not
there's
nervous. I
no
just don't. I
hiding the
don't
votes
understand the
now. We all
process
know
of.
which way you voted
I
on.
turned in my ballot. I walked away. I was told the results, and then later on, when we're trying to discuss everything over text messages, everybody wants to argue again.
Is there any similarities when you left to go with DJ Jazzy Joe the year prior, and then everyone got voted in
to the playoffs?
to the playoffs, and
that should have been
all of a sudden text messages were going out flying, and we
that should have
revoted on that?
been
Is there
that
any
should have been
correlation to that as well, or
yeah,
no?
that's the other screw up it under your watch.
Under my watch,
you let everybody get drunk and
it
high
couldn't
and
be
then
under
vote on
your.
putting everybody into the playoffs
It
and
couldn't
thought
be
that
under
was a
your
great
watch because you
idea.
wanted to get in your high school singlet and roll around with DJ
I
Jazzy
had
Joe
plans that
on a
day.
Friday night. Anyways,
Anyway,
so
so the
yes, we got
vote.
to the vote. We were an hour after the draft. Two owners had texted me. One not so serious, just disappointed in the outcome of the vote, and the other one was a little bit more serious about wanting to reconsider his vote.
And we allow that.
And push came to shove after about 48 hours of bickering with one another and getting a few of the owners very fired up over a revote, although the bylaws had not been and are still not corrected to this date, since we haven't voted it in yet. That one vote per season actually is a real thing yet. Yeah, we ended up revoting on it, and it was again.
I think it was 10-2 this time. It was amazing.
It was amazing how that. No, I think it was
9-3.
9-3 with two votes out there for guys who couldn't get logged in. So yeah, it had passed with flying colors. I don't know what changed or what some owners were so nervous about on Sunday, but
I mean, I've tried to do the math. It doesn't add up. But so be it. Here we are. New members: Sam Delpa, Christian Mikovic,
Mikovic,
Whitey,
aka Whitey. Mister, I'm gonna get a ring before Dominic Ribari.
I hope he does.
Yeah, me too.
I'm glad they're here.
I mean, it took us 10 years to expand, and you know what? It was a long time coming.
It was. I want on the record that the first time expansion was put up, I voted yes for it.
What about the last two?
The last two? You mean like the last two that happened last week?
Yes.
I just felt it was kind of close to the season.
You don't have to give us an explanation. You didn't give us one before. I just would. Well, yes or no? Did you vote for it or against?
It was anonymous. It was an anonymous vote, Joe.
Oh, so now it's anonymous. So you don't want.
It went from 6-6 to. It went from 6-6 to 9-3.
You don't want to tell everyone how you voted.
We got plenty of flip floppers here.
It's fine.
Anyway,
my feelings aren't hurt.
We only got 40 minutes. So the new owners, we got Sam Delpra and Whitey. Out of those owners, who do you feel is ready to compete in this style of league right off the bat?
I really think Sam Delpra is ready to compete in this league right off the bat. I mean, if he's not, shame on him, but he's been around this league all 10 years. He's been in all the events, to my knowledge, for the most part. More events than some of the actual owners been to. I would definitely say that's an accurate statement. So he knows a lot about the league already, and there is a little bit of luck that happens throughout the season, and I think Sam's definitely fit to.
This ain't
jump right in.
This ain't no Anthony ran league here.
Well, he'll quickly learn that, but with his experience with Fan doing a couple others, he could definitely make a shock to the league. And then Whitey's in my opinion, a curveball. You're not sure what you're going to get. Whitey's been in Detroit. He's kind of been away from everybody for a couple of years now, and Don't know what you're going to get
The
there.
thing about Whitey is he's been eager to be in this league. You know, you hear it every time we're at a party, he's in town, we're hanging out. He's talking about getting in this league. And, you know, I understand that he's going to be active in, you know, the group chat. But, you know, as far as what he knows about fantasy football, that's a mystery to me. Because like you say, you know, we've seen Sammy play in other leagues, seen him in his FanDuel, you know, so we know what kind of base he has for fantasy football knowledge. But I guess, you know, I don't know what he's bringing to the table. He could have the same spreadsheets I got,
Same SEDs,
the same
PESs.
SEDs.
Does
Drink
he
them
even
up,
know about it?
drink
I
them
don't
up,
even know.
boys. I don't know. I mean, podcasts, the draft guides, the download sheets. There's a whole world out there. Speaking of a whole world out there, Joe, Sunday, Canton, Fantasy Football Expo.
The Expo
2022. You guys are all welcome to join us, but I know you guys probably don't want to. You just want to.
Dom and I will be representing the SWB Fantasy Football League down in Canton at the Fantasy Football Expo.
Asking the hard-hitting questions. Joe's one that uncovered the truth about Najee Harris last year in front of all the experts.
You're welcome, Paul Purdue. Nice pick. Back to Whitey and Sam really quick, though. I could assure you, when I made the phone calls and told them the great news, I've never heard two owners more excited to be in this league.
And they should be.
Never
I wish
heard
some of the
two
owners
owners.
I wish some of the owners in the league were this excited to be in the league.
That's correct. I've never heard two owners out of the other 11 as excited to be in this league. So shame on the 11 owners that have been in this for 11 years. If you don't want to be in it, get out of it.
I mean, here I am putting on a podcast. Here you are taking time out of your Tuesday. We want to be here.
We want to be here.
This is something we live for. Rings, no rings. We're here. We're ready to go.
352 days of the year, not 2 months, not 3 months, not 2 weeks if you're Mike Kiefer.
Yeah. Not just here for draft day, not just here for the losers dinner. I'm here for it all.
All of it. So the Expo, we'll be down there. Down, what time are we leaving?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock in the morning, hour drive, 11 o'clock. Is there any events you want to share with them that we'll be attending? One or two of them that are on our list?
There is the auction strategy breakout session. There is the DFS for you FanDuelers and DraftKings session. There's Best Ball, which I've been trying to get you guys into it, but I know you guys don't want to talk about fantasy football before August, but Best Ball is one of the biggest growing summer fantasy football activities you can do. It's just dumping $5, draft a team, don't look at it again. Come February, got a couple $100.
That easy.
That easy.
So we'll be down in Canton Sunday.
There's sports betting.
All right, don't give them all of it. $20 if you want to come, listen to the podcast. The train leaves Mayfield Heights at 10 a.m.
All right. Let's talk about a couple of announcements. Let's actually start off with congratulating Robbie on Louie, newest member of the SWB family.
Welcome, Louie.
Welcome, Louie. One day you can probably take your dad's spot because
he's been freaking obsolete for the last 7 years.
Where's he been?
Where has he been?
Also, congratulations to Paul and Christina on their marriage.
Damn, Paulie. Finally got that ring.
Prior or after the season ended last year, we had Kiefer and Catherine.
Damn, Mike, your second ring.
Get another ring.
Sorry, though, it's the wrong one.
And by the time Chase takes the time to listen to this podcast, he should be married.
Yep. So congratulations early, Mr. McCune.
Or late, depending on when you listen to this podcast. It's probably going to be after the draft, or you don't want to download Spotify to listen to it.
What about little Robert?
Little Robert, he's been born.
Has he? We haven't got him on a podcast, have we?
I mean, I don't think we actually congratulated him, but congratulations.
Congratulations, everybody. We're giving
congratulations, everybody.
Out.
We want to welcome Amanda and Vinny.
That's right.
Whitey, I don't know your girlfriend's name, but she's about to find out
too.
She's about to find out what this podcast, what this league is about. This is a commitment
from both.
Maybe one you should make to her also. Or are you going to join the ranks of guys like Ross, just alone?
Okay, moving forward.
Moving forward, speaking about guys without rings, there's myself, there's Paul, there's now Sam and Whitey,
Bob and Chris.
Bob and Chris.
So we just opened the field back up to 6 owners without a ring.
Owners. And up until 2 years ago, we had 9 years, 9 different winners.
8 total years. And then Ross was the first 2-timer. And then Mr. November last year.
As our 2-timers. Do you have a prediction for this year?
So I would like to go back and see who obviously we ask this question in and out every season. And I would be very curious to who I picked last year.
I think I picked Robbie.
Robbie already had one. So you had to have picked someone that didn't have one.
Oh, who didn't have one? I think I picked myself. Is that allowed?
I can't remember. We're trying to make it creative. So anyways, I don't remember who I picked last year, but if I've got 6 new owners to pick from this year that don't have a ring and who's going to get their first ring, I'm going to go on air and say it. And I know a lot of my fans out there are going to be very upset with my choice here, but I'm going to give it to Dom Krabari just because of how awful his draft strategies were last year. He's definitely putting the time in the offseason this year to not leave 30 auction dollars in his budget when the draft's over.
It was like 12.
It was like 20.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think you realize what your mistakes were. I think you were a little creative. You went down to the Expo and it probably ruined you. You did the zero running back strategy. It really killed you. So I don't see you doing that. And I think you're going to take it serious and you will be the owner without a ring to win a ring this year. On record.
If I had to pick, it probably should have been this year's champion, Chris Amacarelli. He got just boat race there in the finals. Or no, you did.
No, Chris did.
Oh, Chris did. I can't remember the score, but I don't think it was pretty. But Chris is another guy where I think he's a little more dedicated to fantasy football than some of the other ones. I think he's got the football knowledge and pedigree to get over that hump. I'd like to say it was Paul, but after recent discussions come out about how he's made the playoffs 9 times and he has 2 wins, and they weren't in the same year, it's just not it's telling of what happens when it comes to the pressure time.
And there you have it, Mr. Ferdui.
There you have it. All right,
let Christina run your team this year.
Now let's talk last place. Who's hosting this dinner?
So we got 14 guys now. Who's going to be the one responsible to host the dinner? Well, we do have a couple different area codes now, so we got to be careful. We've got Dave down in Nashville, which not that Nashville would be a bad trip, but that is
we get a party
probably
bus.
A whole weekend.
We get dinner. A party bus.
And then up in Detroit, we got Whitey and Kiefer down in C-Bus,
and
Paul down in C-Bus. If I had to pick a last place finisher, now let's go on record and say what that actually entails. We are going by lowest points. It sounds like in the bylaws from here on out. It's lowest points throughout the postseason. So I will manually. You don't remember voting on that, huh?
I don't.
I will manually calculate the regular season. I know the regular season points and the postseason points. And to be a part of this, you have to be in the consolation bracket. So the lowest points consolation and regular season award, I'm going to gift this year.
If you're drum rolling, nobody can hear it.
I am drum rolling. Sorry if you couldn't hear it. I'm going to give it to the Splash in a Pan. You already know who that is. The new members, you may not know who that is, but you heard it here first. Nikki the cat, Splash in a Can. I think he gets the Super Bowl hangover here, to be honest.
First to worst.
First to worst.
Well, if I had pick, And I know you kind of talked up Sammy, but I've also talked to Sammy. I think him and Chase are still trying to figure out what team Tyreek Hill's on. He was traded. He's not on the Chiefs anymore, and his quarterback is Tua Tagovailoa. But I think we're going to be having another party at Delpra's. That's just my guess.
All right.
I think just a combination of 14-man league, auction draft, strategies. It may take him more than a year to get his footing to this type of league. But who knows? That's just
Well, you just said it's Sam.
that was
so
my guess
way to go.
/ prediction based on scientific fact.
It's been recorded and documented.
We don't go back and listen to any of these though.
All right.
Who didn't we talk about? Thank Bob. We talked to Nick, Robbie, Sam, Whitey, Kiefer, Chris,
Dean and
Dave.
Are we gonna talk about the next one in line to marriage?
Well, besides, we got Chase, and then we got Chris.
We got some single men out there.
We got Chris,
Dean, Dave, Chris,
Dean, Dave,
Chris McCovic,
Whitey,
Ross.
Ross is a long shot.
Ross is the long shot.
Yeah, not even a dark horse. Just Browns win the Super Bowl.
So who's the next in line to get married? Put it on air.
On air. I guess I'll go back to Chris. It seems like he's probably the one in more of a stable relationship. No reasons. Just
I'm gonna go with Dave. Dave Giarrizzo.
Dave
Heads down south, Tennessee, with a girl, runs away from the fantasy league.
All right, that's a big commitment.
Something else is coming soon.
It's a big commitment, not to the league, but I guess to himself and his girlfriend. It could be exciting.
Could be great.
We can all go down to Tennessee for the wedding.
Hopefully it's in the wintertime. Get some warm weather.
Yeah.
What about favorite matchup week one? I already know mine.
Yeah. What'd you take? Nick and
It's gotta be Nick and Ammo. Super Bowl rematch.
Yeah, that's a good one. I didn't even think I looked at those. I'm unprepared now.
Well, I think it's a no-brainer that you have the Super Bowl match rematch.
It's a good one.
We're gonna see what Nick's made out of.
Even if Chris wins it, though, it's a little bit too late.
Well, Chris is always off to a slow start. He's gonna have to wait till about week 6 or 7 till he calls Chase and begs him for Tom Brady for a no-name running back to get bailed out.
I love it.
Who was the first trade this year?
First trade?
Who were the first owners to make a trade?
It's hard to say without seeing the teams. I'm excited particularly for my matchup against Whitey week 1.
I'm gonna say Paul Perdue, Ross, Lasigno, first trades.
Paul's easy to trade with. I'll give him that. So is Ross. I've done a couple of transactions with those guys. There's not a lot of beating around the bush. It's usually yes or no answers, and let's get a trade done. Where others, it's, well, let me call some other guy. Let me check with this other guy. Oh, this guy's
running through these PSs.
This guy's gonna give me Pat Mahomes for Gronk, so I'm gonna go with his guy. Also, another interesting first round matchup. We do have Bobby versus Sam.
Yeah,
that might be an awkward work week.
Could be a rough one.
Coming back like that
on that Monday night.
Just keep your head down.
Well, what else you got for the good of the better of the league, Mr. Krabari?
That's it. I just wanted to get out there. I want to introduce the new members. I want to let them know we do this podcast semi-annually at this point. No thanks to Joe. I always try to get the podcast
Bring the league
out.
note back.
I wish we had the league note back, but again, some owners don't want to dedicate any time to the league. They just want to be here for the losers dinner.
For the free meal.
For the free meal. Cost $200. It could have just come for free anyways. But that's it.
Well, good
That's all I
luck
got. That's all I got, Joe.
to all the owners out there.
Come a little closer to your mic.
Well, good luck to all the owners out there.
Thank you. Anybody again? Fantasy Football Expo. I think it's like $20 to get in. We're not getting swag bags this year, Joe. Swag bags are a ripoff.
It's a shame.
And they were like another like $25 for a bunch of coupons for PESs I don't even need. No,
But
thanks.
if you need them, come on in the show. I'm
All
all
right.
organic. Everybody knows that. Always have been.
I've never seen anything more organic than Ross at B-Dubs with a piece of paper and a notepad and a magazine.
And a hangover.
A magazine that was probably 2 months out of date. And he won the championship that year when times were simpler. All right,
Well, it's
boys.
been real.
We're going to sign off. As always, I'm your host, The Real Get At Me, and my co-host, Joey Fantasy.
Your 2013 champion.
To whatever your champion he was. Till next time, boys. Peace.
Adios, mi amigos.